Hello and welcome to your first AutoCAD course. This is going to be a quick introduction into the workspace and the user interface. Basically, if you open up AutoCAD, congratulations, this is the first thing that you will see. And on the left here, we have a little Learn button. If we click on that, then we have some videos to help you look at, touring the user interface. You might get a little bit more detail in that. What changes have been made in the various versions. This has all pretty much stayed the same from 2013 on till today. So this center portion here just shows you what other drawings that you've opened up, so it keeps tabs on that. So you might only have like three drawings of some samples. Then we've got this switch icon button. This big box is actually one giant button. Down below it we have a drop-down list for all of our templates. All these templates are hidden in the template folder that AutoCAD has on your system. We can also open files here, open a sheet set, which is a grouping of drawings, get more templates online, and explore sample drawings. So first thing that we want to do always for right now is click on the little drop down and acad.dwt. All right, that's what we want to open up. So left click on acad.dwt, should be up towards the top. And that opens up our drawing. Welcome to your first workspace. This is a drawing and annotation workspace, which is basically two-dimensional drawings. And we've got our application menu, standard set of options, start a new drawing, open drawing, saving drawings, importing and exporting, publishing, printing, the whole as well as some additional options, if you wanted to get drill down a little bit more into some options of the software. You also have the same thing, new drawing, open drawing, save as, printing and whatnot. This little drop down at the very, very top here allows you to add additional quick access information to your toolbar. So you can see properties here. I can turn that off, and the little icon that was here goes away. If I go back to properties, you can see that, well, there it is again. So I can open up my properties window and look at various properties of whatever I have selected. This right now is a floating window, and usually these floating windows I can dock to either the left or the right, so you have to make sure you see that little ghost image, or sometimes you just have to trust it when it disappears, and when you let go of your mouse it docks that window there. So I'm going to look for this little gray bar, click on it, hold it, drag it in the middle, and now it's a floating bar again. So I'm going to close that out. Directly underneath that, I've got my my menu, and you guys probably have your menu off, something like that. So all you have to do is come to this top button here and go Show Menu Bar, and you'll see you've got File, Edit, View, Insert, Format, Tools. This is all the same stuff that you would typically have in like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, any program. You would have these types of options. Directly below that, we've got the ribbon, and the ribbon has a number of tabs: Home, Insert, Annotate, Parametric. It goes on and on and on. And we have these tool spaces or toolbars inside each tab. So for instance, we have this little palette tool space for drawing. So anything that's considered drawing would be in this section. Modify tools would be held in this section. Annotation tools would be here in this section. Layer tools in the middle. And every grouping is done the same way. Then below that, we've got our project tabs. So we can go back to Start, which brings us back to when we first opened up AutoCAD. Right now I'm going to go back to drawing 4. Yours might say drawing 1, or it might have another drawing number. All depends if you opened up AutoCAD and started playing around with it or not. But this would be where your project title would be. So What else do we see? We got a big blank space with grid lines on it. I have a navigation cube. This is more for 3D. I've also got other information which we're not going to worry about until we get to 3D, but it tells me that I'm in 2D wireframe. I have a green line and a red line on the bottom here. So the red line represents my x-axis. The green line represents my y-axis. The bottom left corner, this white y and x, that's my UCS, or my user coordinate system. We've got a little shortcut toolbar on the right hand side, and we'll go over some of these properties a little bit later on. Then below, towards the bottom, we have our command line. It says type of command. So legacy system, type of command. This is how people using AutoCAD used to draw. They would type all the commands in and it would show up on the screen. So now we have a combination of using our graphical buttons up here as well as commands. And it's still very useful to use commands, and we'll be learning those. Then I've got various tabs on the bottom, and these 3 tabs, currently 3 tabs, there can be more, there can be less. These tabs correlate with the current drawing tab that we have. So if you hover, don't touch any buttons, you can see that we can switch from the model view to the layout view to layout 2. So if I click on any one of these, I can actually jump to that particular view. Same thing down on the bottom. I can left click on the tab and jump to that particular view, and we'll talk about what those views actually mean. And then on the very, very bottom, we have our status bar. So our status bar helps us, helps us figure out what the status of some of the commands are, or some of the settings. I have coordinates, I've got model or paper space, very important to know. I've got some grids and snaps, whether I'm drawing straight or on angles. I've got an annotation monitor, so this tells me if I'm annotating at certain scales. And also units, right? What unit am I working in? Architectural, decimal, engineering. So you can kind of switch. It doesn't convert, but you can switch units at the very beginning of your project and make that happen. Also, this little gear, this little setting gear, has us work in a variety of workspaces. All right, so right now I said this is the drafting and annotation workspace. It's all about 2D. I can switch it to 3D basics or to 3D modeling if I want some advanced features. And we'll be using the 3D basics and 3D modeling in the CAD 110 course or an advanced AutoCAD course. So right now we're going to stay with drafting and annotation. And that pretty much sums up really quickly the user interface that we will be using for AutoCAD.